Good morning, everybody. Something a little different this morning. Thought I'd start out on a little blues. A little blues. We'll have the happy music later. This is reminiscent of Imus in the Morning, if you remember Don Imus. Anyway, I was in the mood for blues this morning, so good morning, everyone. It's me, Mitch. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. God, I love this music. And my friends, drink it if you got it, and enjoy the music. Ah, yes. All right. Don't want you guys to get too bored with me. Wow, look at this. Look at this. 72 people right at the beginning. Holy cow, what a pre-chat for a Tuesday morning. God, that's great. That's great. And I see Ellen. Ellen is in the chat. She's not with me this morning, but I'm so happy to see her in the chat. I was worried about her. Ellen, I was worried about you. But I got an email from her at 12:46 a.m. I was awake. I didn't answer it because I thought I'd appear crazy. What the hell was I doing up at 12:46 a.m.? Well, remember I told you yesterday morning I slept in. I slept in to almost 7 o'clock. That screwed me up for the entire day. Came to be 11 o'clock. I was wide awake still. 12 o'clock, I was still wide awake. I finally got to sleep about 1 o'clock and woke up at 4. That'll teach me to go off of my schedule. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Ellen, it's great to see you. And Ellen has been so busy. She's been so busy. She told me in email what's been going on. She's got all these jobs with dog walking and playing nurse's assistant, wannabe dummy, and on top of everything else, she's fixing up some house. So we're going to give Ellen the week off. She needs a rest. It's a lot of work being ready for this thing every morning, getting ready for it. And I appreciate it when Ellen's here. But it's just fine if she isn't. And it's great to see you in the chat, Ellen. So you rest up this week. And you let me know when you're ready to start coming into the streams again. And I'll start sending you the links again. I didn't send you the links because I didn't want to put any pressure on you. Because you know how much I appreciate. And I think everybody appreciates you as much, or maybe even more than I do. Got a few little show notes here today. Just a few. If you have a question, for me, put it in the chat with QQQ. You know the drill. You all know the drill by now. Put it in the chat, and I'll get to it. I've been getting to it. We've been running overtime. Yesterday we went to 10 o'clock in the morning, but I don't care. I don't care. Like I said, I love this. I have a great time here every morning with you, and as long as you keep on coming in, I'll keep on doing this. Questions in the chat. I had 2 comments yesterday. Very rude, nasty comments. One right after the other. 2 different people, though. Chastising me for my cigar. I thought we'd gotten past that, but evidently I'm getting some new people here, and they are, from the sound of and the tone of their comments, they were highly, highly offended. Highly offended. One of the comments went kind of like, I can't believe you have the, and he used the word, audacity to smoke cigars when you're talking about health. The other one said, how can you smoke cigars? Everybody knows that plants have carbohydrates in them. That's the one that I almost rolled on the floor laughing. My answer to him was simply, that's very true. However, I don't eat cigars. My motto is, it's better to smoke plants than to eat them. Meanwhile, I don't expect to see any of those two guys here again. And you know what? I've probably lost hundreds and hundreds of viewers who are looking for how to succeed on carnivore. And I think I've got some good answers, and evidently you do too. So I look at it this way. If they can't allow me my autonomy to make decisions that I want to make for myself and feel that they have the right to tell me what I can and can't and should and shouldn't do, then they're not the kind of people that I'm here to help anyway. So to all of them, although none of them are listening now, I will say, excuse me. There. And that wasn't even profane either. Oh, man, I saw the funniest thing yesterday on YouTube. And it's from the drone community. And, you know, I have to make my comment on the drone hysteria this morning because as a drone pilot and an ex-drone YouTuber, I follow it very closely. And it just keeps getting more and more absurd every day. And today, the government's going to be briefing a congressional committee on these drones because the government and the White House are saying, well, you know, there's no danger. Meanwhile, I see videos where they're trying to scare people into thinking that the drones are out looking for leftover nuclear weapons from the Cold War. I mean, it's crazy, the gaslighting. I don't believe that. I don't know if anybody really believes it, but it's still, they put that thought in your head. Well, let me try to dispel that just a little bit. Number one, if they were looking for nuclear weapons, they would be looking for them 24/7. They wouldn't just do it at night. Nobody sees any of these drones flying overhead during the day. Which makes me wonder whether they want these drones to be seen, whoever's doing it, for whatever reason. Most of these drones are airplanes. The ones that are drones, maybe legitimate drones. Every TV station's got drones they fly around at night. Every search and rescue, every police department, everybody's got drones, not to mention a million hobbyists who are probably punking everybody, just flying their drones around to see if they can get people upset. There are people like that. Unfortunately, many of them happen to own drones too. But in the drone community, there is a guy in New Zealand named Bruce Simpson. He has a channel called XJet. It's a large channel. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He's very well known in the drone community. He's a no-nonsense guy. You can usually look to him for the straight skinny on virtually everything. And he put out a video yesterday. That actually talked about or showed some footage that was captured that absolutely proves what's going on. So yesterday, it appeared that Cliff Medina had sent me a video of Chris Christie stuffing his face with McDonald's hamburgers, and all the McDonald's delivery drones were by him. And I said, we finally figured it out. But then I saw Bruce's video yesterday, and Bruce put a whole new spin on it. And Bruce's spin, he said an SUV-sized drone was caught on footage flying over a house. And I said, wow, will you look at that? Will you look at that? An SUV-sized drone. And obviously, it was a joke. I thought it was fabulous. And Bruce is a great photographer and a video editor, and he put that thing together, and I thought you'd enjoy that this morning. Oh, yes, yes. 121 of you are here. Let's take a look over and make sure I'm live. I am live on YouTube, and in order to see if I'm live on Rumble, I actually have to refresh the screen. And yes, there I am, scratching my mustache. So, perfect. And, God, we got a bunch of people in the chat over there. Ketra, Keat, good morning, checking in on Rumble, going to YouTube. No Slow is there, good morning again. He says, Rod Weeder, good to see you. Ellen chimed in the Rumble chat as Olivia E2, and Brenda Day said good morning. Well, good morning to you guys. Good morning to all of you. And that concludes my announcements today, except, as I usually do at this time, I'm going to plug my Buy Me a Coffee, guys. I really have learned how right my father was when he says, you don't ask, you don't get. I'm putting a link in the chat for my Buy Me a Coffee link if you enjoy what I do. And you want to say thank you. No obligation. Don't have to. But if you want to say thank you, and I will try to make sure I acknowledge all of them before the end of the stream. Even if I might miss them when they come in, I will always acknowledge all of them. I'd really appreciate that. It helps. It really helps. One thing it won't help is the sun at this exact time in the morning shines right between a palm tree that I have outside, right into my eyes. And that's about the time I usually start saying hello to people. So let's start doing that. Let's first say hello to the last nighters. Tuukka Tuomir from Finland. It's easy for him. Although when he chimed in at 7:20 p.m., it must have been 3 o'clock in the morning over there. Tuukka, don't you ever sleep. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. What I did was stay up half the night last night. And we have Mike Seeley Sr. was here last night. And Peter, Papa Carnivore, says, hello, Meat Mystifiers. I don't know what a Meat Mystifier is. And B was here last night. Lucy Auerbach chimed in last night. And William McCartney was here. Hi, William. Good to see you. Rhonda Free Texanet decided to rejoin the private community. We missed you. Glad to have you back. And she said, I renewed my membership. Couldn't stay away. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I think it's either Dan Lee or Don Lee. Maciel Ordonez account. Good to see you. Good to see you. Why does vegan cheese taste so bad? Because it's not tested on mice. Okay, my friend, as you're probably aware, there are 10,000 unemployed comedians in this country as we speak. No, that's cute. That's cute. Feral Grandma was here in the middle of the night. Good to see you. She couldn't sleep either. Lucy Auerbach got back here at 2:38 in the morning. Holy cow, waiting patiently. It's a long wait. Lady June also at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then finally, we got through the Insomniacs, and Couch Potato chimed in at about 5:30 this morning. Good to see you. And Wayne Herman, good morning. Mitch Meat Eaters from Lake Gaston, North Carolina. Good to see you. Lynn Gerber's here from Deerfield Beach. Mike Seeley Sr., father of United Carnivore, from here in Melbourne. And Peter had to comment on that joke. Even mice won't eat vegan cheese. What does that say about plants? I don't get that either. But that's okay. Marla Kelly, how you doing, Marla? Good to see you. Good to see you this morning. And God, is that sun in my eyes? Who do we have here? Sandy Blythe. Good morning, Sandy. Rick from Miami. Charger Mopar. Gina Cav is here. Good morning. Richard Williams. All hail our supreme grumpiness. I'll drink to that. And you can see by the brightly lit right side of my face what I'm looking into. I keep thinking about redecorating where I put this table that I set up. But if you look at, this is about the only place where I actually have room for it, where I can leave it without tripping over it all the time. So here it will probably stay. And in this shot, you can actually see the brightness that I'm faced with. But it's okay. It feels good. I love the morning sun. It's one of the advantages of being out here. Your mom is here. Good morning. Good morning. The troops are here already. Yes, the troops were here early this morning. And Cliff Medina's here. How you doing? Good to see you. Your mom said vegans shouldn't be allowed to call their foods meat or milk. They need to make their own names. That's true. They seem to do that. They have fake meat, almond milk, nut milks of different kinds. And wow, it's getting hard to read. Steve Studley is here. How you doing, Steve? The things I have a hard time reading are the green names on the dark background that are presented to me from our private community members. The white names, I can read very easily on the screen. Sometimes I have to click on them and then look over to the banner that shows up to actually read the name, not being able to see what it was when I had it in dark green. And that happens right when the sun shines on the monitor here. Jeff Streslak, good morning to you. William McCartney, how you doing? And Steve Studley again. And Ketra Naylor again. Good bacon and eggs to all this morning. Patty Molden is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Smoothie. And I keep calling it Smoothie 42, but I think that's a clever way of writing Smoothie 420. I'll bet you that's what that's supposed to mean. And we all know what 420 means. Smoke it if you got it. You know what I mean? Excuse me a second. Yeah. And I chimed in. That's me. Edward Renner, good morning to you. And are we up to 8:30 yet? No, we're not up to 8:30 yet. Let's see if I can get through the other early birds. All these people are chatting back and forth. Bob Black is here. How you doing? Good to see you. And let's get through this. Captain America's here from Kansas City, Missouri. Good to see you. Good to see you, Steve. Graceful Lily has joined us too. Hi, Lily. How you doing? And 8:22. Greg Smith out there on the road. How you doing, Greg? Hope you're having a good day. Who else new chimed in before we started at 8:30, 8:25? God, you were chatting up a literal storm there, and you're still chatting up a storm. DJ Scra, 89, how you doing? From Tarpon Springs, Florida, yes. Right over there near where my daughter lives in Pasco County. Tom from Tampa's here. Hi, Tom. Good to see you. Booby Goats, Aaron. How are you this morning? 57 degrees, yes. Springtime again. Terry Sue's with us. Good morning, Terry Sue. Everybody's checking in. We're still not up to 8:30 in the chat yet. All this happened before I even went live. Tanya's here, Kitchen Witch. Good morning, happy Tuesday, everybody, she says. Aunt B chimed in with us. Still trying to get to 8:30 here. Wow, 8:29. Mama Bear came in. Hiya, Mama. How you doing? Good to see you. Paul McGrogan came in. How you doing? And Paul, speaking of Paul, Let me take a second out here from saying hello to show you something. I'm pretty sure it was Paul McGrogan who sent me this. And let me go ahead and put it up on the screen for you. He sent me this article. Early humans were big game hunters with mammoth appetites, new research shows. Study gleaned evidence from bones of Clovis child, Alberta fossil record. And what they're talking about here in this article, it's a great article and it's a long article, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what I might do, just for fun, is anybody who might be interested, I will put the link to this article in the chat right now. That's the link to this article. You can go look at it on your own and read it if you'd like. So just cut and paste that somewhere. This is not the first time I've heard of this. I've heard of this a long time ago. They have the ability now to take old bones, up to 100 or more thousand years old, take some of the collagen that still remains in that bone, do stable isotope analysis on it, and tell exactly what the original owner of that bone ate accurately. This is how we know that our ancestors were meat eaters, and that's what this article's about. And they go on and explain in this article about the stable isotope analysis, and it's a good article. It's a good article. And they talk about the bone chemistry and how they do it and the science behind it, and they have nice pictures, and they talk about the Clovis man, the fossil that they found, that they got the bone from. And this is fascinating stuff. And the reason I'm showing you this today is because this stuff, hold on a second, let me get you back to me. This stuff validates our claims that the human species are carnivores. And our ancestors ate mostly big, fat animals like mammoth. And that's what we're supposed to eat. And anybody that tells you that 13,000 years ago your ancestors were eating kale smoothies, reference them to this article and let them learn all about it. But thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I think it was Paul that sent it to me. You know, I may be attributing the wrong guy for that. Let me take a quick look at my Gmail account and make sure it was Paul. Hang on one second here. It was Paul McGrogan. Thank you, Paul. I thought that was you who sent me that. Also, let me thank some people. Someone bought me a coffee this morning, and it just says, oh, it's Jeff Johnson. You know the name. For those of you that don't know that reference, Jeff Johnson was the name Eddie Murphy used in a movie called The Distinguished Gentleman. And he ran for office because the guy that had the office that he was running to replace, who evidently I think either died or got caught having an affair and had to resign, his name was Jeff Johnson. And the whole political campaign of Eddie Murphy was basically, I'm Jeff Johnson, the name you know, the name you know. Thanks for passing on what you know to the community. Much value here. Thanks so much, Jeff. Appreciate the coffee. Appreciate the coffee. 8:29, Lewis L. Good morning. We're still at 8:29. Holy cow. Here it is. Ellen rang the bell. Ellen rang the bell at 8:30. Finally. And Carnivore Dodie. Is it Carnivore Dodie or Dode? I would imagine Dodie. But how you doing? How you doing? And Slatty Head's here. How you doing? And Muyini checked in. And here we get some of the new people that checked in. And pretty soon I'm going to start looking for some questions. I hope you've been asking them, and I hope you put them in put the QQQs in front of them. Jason M is here. Hiya, Jason. How you doing? Peter's chatting away. Peter says, hi, meet gang. Who else haven't I said hi to? Tina Schweikerath is here. How you doing? And John Logan. Good morning, Mitch. Saw the introduction. Yes, John. Yes, John, that's, I was 10 seconds late this morning. I had to get something out of the house at the last minute and was running out here to get back before 30 seconds before 8:30. I hope y'all didn't notice the 10-second tardiness this morning. I'll try not to let it happen again. Michael Pregler's here. How you doing? So is Danny in Boston. Good to see you. Look at all the people, 155 of you. Wow. Wow, Dixie Scott, how you doing, Dixie? I don't know if I get a chance to say hi to virtually everybody, but I'm trying. Jessica Harris, how you doing? Good to see you. Everybody's saying hi to Ellen. Arizona Dreaming, just listening from work in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And you're all over the place. You're dreaming in Arizona, working in Wisconsin. It's a hell of a commute. Hell of a commute. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you enjoy being here with us. Jesse Farmer checked in. Good morning. And B-Mat's here. How you doing? Robbie Autry. Good morning, everybody. And light that cigar, Mitch. Yes, sir. All you got to do is ask. Excuse me while I light my cigar. Hopefully I don't alienate too many of you. Think of me like George Burns. Think of this as a prop. It's part of my personality. It's who I am. It's in my logo, for God's sakes, the old guy face with the cigar sticking out. There we go. We got it all. We got it all. We got the cigar. We got the coffee in the coffee cup. We got all my friends. We got sun. What else could a guy want? What else could a guy want? Where was I? Where was I? Light it up, Mitch, says Steve Studley. I can't believe someone might be offended by a cigar if they can't smell it. Well, there are just so many people. And yesterday I made reference to the way people call women who complain about everything Karens. And so as not to sound sexist, I want to clarify something. A Karen can certainly be a man. But they've given that man, and I hate to offend anybody, the name Kevin. So Kevin has now refers to a male Karen, but it's just people in general. Some people just go out of their way to find a reason to be offended by something that shouldn't offend them at all. Somebody else just doing something that they want to do, and suffering whatever consequences may come of it. It's a decision we each have to make many times in our lives for ourselves. William McCartney, yes, sir, they should try a cigar. I know a lot of people have, and they really enjoy it, and I think it's actually I think it has health benefits for me. Makes me relax, slow down. I've had doctors tell me the benefits of puffing a cigar, not inhaling it, far outweigh whatever dangers from what little bit of smoke you might, secondhand smoke from it, that you might actually breathe in. So I don't want to have to keep justifying it, so I just tell these people who don't like it, then go away in a more profane language than that. Kind of the phrase ends with off, if you know what I mean. Lizzie's here. How you doing, Lizzie? Good to see you. And Lat checked in. Marvin Malley is here. Wow, look at all the people. Look at all the people. Okay, time. Fran Mariah, almost time to go look for some questions. I'm still looking down here for questions. I don't see any. You guys were asking questions like they were going out of style yesterday. Here, everybody's coming to my defense. Tanya says nicotine is being used as a treatment for certain cancers and viruses, I heard. And there are people that say caffeine is really good for you too. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Do what you want. Make the best decision you can. Believe what you want. Jeff Johnson's talking to Ellen, says, boy, did Mitch miss you yesterday. I was worried about Ellen yesterday. I was hoping that she didn't get sick or nothing bad happened. But you worry about your friends. Don Schonger, how you doing, Don? Good to see you. Question. Oh, thank you, Lori. Don't forget to light up. I had. But I'm still behind in the chat, 8:40. I'm only about 12 or 13 minutes behind in the chat. I'm usually much further behind than that. I guess I didn't talk about too many things this morning, but I had to show you the SUV hovering over the guy's house. I should send that in to CNN. They probably think it's real. Some of the stuff they show. Looking for new names or questions? New names or questions? Dolly, hiya, Dolly, how you doing? And Bill Clark is new. Good morning from Nebraska. 24 pounds lost as of this morning, beginning my carnivore epic. Congratulations. It's a hell of a way to start. It's an epic way to start. Ellen is telling people, put QQQs in the chat if you have a question or burning desire you'd like addressed. Yes, thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. Here's DS111 waving at us. How you doing, my friend? Always good to see you. Looking for new people or questions in the wealth of entries in the chat here. I guess everybody that's coming is pretty much here this morning. I see you all chatting back and forth. Okay, I need a question. Guys. If I don't find one soon, I'm going to put that blues back on while I peruse this chat because there's so much of it. Itasca Patriots here. How you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning. Harry Dion, or Dion, might be pronounced Dion. Good morning from NCA. Another wake up enlightenment from Mitch, North Carolina. Good to see you. Good to see you, Harry. That was my grandfather's name, Harry. People don't name their babies Harry anymore, do they? Couple of names you don't ever see. You don't see Harry. You don't see Ethel. I haven't seen a young Ethel. I can't remember the last time. Nobody names their little girls Ethel anymore. It was a very common name in my day. Boyd Lamb says the chat wasn't updating. Stupid chat. Refresh. I can't understand your faux German there. Boyd, I have deemed this morning sprinting, moaning, a little sore, but gotta suck it up. Okay, Boyd, it was a chore, but I got through it. And wow, I certainly can't be accused of missing anybody's question this morning. Not yet, anyway. I'm at 8:52, still 15 minutes behind. You guys are chatting faster than I can read. Hey, Robert Spicali, how you doing, Robert? Good to see you. Wow. All right. Give you a little musical background while I look for questions. P.O.'s here. P.O. Hendrickson, how you doing, P.O.? Good to see you. Good to see you here this morning. Tammy Petarch is here. How you doing? Ellen says, now's your chance. Hey, here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. A question, Mitch. What would you recommend to anyone who's confronted with family, friends, or coworkers who questions their carnivore way of eating as harmful and dangerous or not sustainable long term? What would I say? I would certainly not try to change their minds, because that is generally an exercise in futility. And if it's somebody that you're stuck with at home, somebody that you love or a member of your family, it's not worth even trying unless you alienate them and they don't ever want to talk to you again. Don't preach carnivore to anybody. I would simply say, well, you can do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. This is what I want to eat. If you think it's bad for me, I appreciate your concern. I think that what you're eating is bad for you, and I'm concerned. So in that respect, I think we're both a lot alike, and kind of leave it at that. Leave it at that. The only way that anybody will ever even listen to you, because how can you be credible? How can you be credible in a world with the level of misinformation and propaganda about diet? How can you appear credible to them, like you know what you're talking about, when you're not a doctor and their doctor and the government and all the dietitians and everybody's telling you that you need to eat all those fruits and vegetables and whole grains and avoid meat at all costs? Avoid meat at all costs. The word, however, is getting out. And we're hearing about it in places because of the current political climate that we've never heard it before, but it still doesn't seem to be taking hold yet. It's gonna be a big effort, and it's gonna take time, because how do you overcome a lifetime of believing a certain way and expecting people to say, well, that makes sense, when you tell them that we're carnivores and that's how our ancestors ate? They right away think, well, you know, are you telling me that everybody in the world, the entire medical community, the government, the drug, everybody is corrupt and misled? And the answer is yes, but you'll never get them to believe that. So don't say that. But I'll tell you what, I have a video. I'm going to put it out today, but I'll premiere it a little bit for you here. It's one of my watch this videos, and I'm going to refer you all to Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, who spent a great deal of time interviewing a doctor who's just laid it all out there for her. Laid it all out there for her. And her channel is huge. She's got a big following. And we need to see more and more and more of that stuff. So it won't be a long video. Won't be anything complicated, but watch it later today and go watch that. The link will be in there. Watch the Megyn Kelly interview because it's probably the first time you've ever seen it on a channel like that, other than maybe Joe Rogan, because he's interviewed a lot of people who are proponents of a low-carb or carnivore lifestyle. But don't argue with people. Remain friends, agree to disagree. Tell them you appreciate their concern. You're as concerned about them. They probably aren't as healthy as you. And as they see you, if you stick to it, getting better and better, thinner and thinner, healthier and healthier, sharper and sharper, they might come back to you. And I have, interestingly enough, a personal story of an experience just like that. And I've told it a few times, but most of you people that are here right now probably haven't heard this story. I was at the gym one morning in the locker room, and I almost got run over by some guy making a beeline for the bathroom. And as he almost knocked me over, running, he said, "Sorry, I got Crohn's disease." Now, there's been tons of talk in our community about the fact that carnivore is probably the only way to reverse Crohn's disease. All the doctors are telling them to eat more plants, eat more fiber, which is what's causing the ulcerative colitis and the Crohn's, any of these inflammatory bowel diseases. So he comes out of the bathroom, and I just said to him, I said, "Have you ever looked at a carnivore diet?" And this guy went off on me. When I say went off, I mean you'd think that I told him that I'd slept with his mother or something like that. He started screaming at me. "Who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? What right do you have to give me any advice about it? I've got the best doctors at Johns Hopkins." Meanwhile, the guy's had a third of his colon removed already with his best doctors. "It's people like you that give people that are suffering false hope. Shame on you." And I mean, he went off on me in not so pleasant language. And he was ranting. And I finally just stopped him and I said, "I'm sorry. Forget I said anything." And I walked away. For the next 3 months, this guy, he was always there at the same time I was at the gym in the locker room. And he would always walk by me, and I'd get stares like daggers. And one day I walked up to him after a while. I was tired of it. I said, "Listen, I don't want to have this tension between us. I'm sorry." I said, "and I apologize." I said, I hope I didn't upset you." And he started saying things like, "Would you tell a man in a wheelchair you can make him walk again?" I said, "Look, I don't care what you do. Good luck." 4 months, 3 or 4 months, I think, a great deal of time happened. After that, this guy comes in and looks at me and says, "How you doing? Good to see you." I said, "Oh, fuck, what happened?" I never talked to him about it. But he was my new best friend after that. I never said another word about carnivore. Evidently, and the only thing I can figure is that he actually looked into it and found out that there are people that are suffering like him and worse than him that have completely reversed the disease and saved their colons or whatever they had left of it. And then I stopped going to that gym, and that was the last I ever saw him. But ever since that time, Ever since that time, I made a promise to myself that unless somebody comes to me and almost begs me, outside of YouTube, of course, somebody begs me to tell them how I do it, what I do. What happened to you, Mitch? You used to be fat. You used to be sick. You used to walk, had a bad back. You used to have, now what happened? I'll tell them. And even then, they want me to help them, and I even am reluctant to do that because I've tried to help, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 people talked about it. Some of them said, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it. None of them ever stuck with it or anything. People are such addicts, carb addicts. That's how I really cemented my opinion that it's the carb addiction that's keeping everybody. It's the carb addiction that won't allow you to go to a Christmas party without cheating. You have no control. People have no control over this addiction, and I understand and explain why. So that's a long answer to that question because that's the only question I've seen so far. I hope there's some more of them, and I hope that answered it for you. Hope that answered it for you. You can only help people that ask you for help. Claudia Burkick, how you doing? Claudia, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. And who else we got here? Any questions? Any questions? Questions. I see a question that's way down in the chat. Came in just a few minutes ago from Muyini. Do I want to dare going down? That was at 9:16, and I'm at 8:58. No, I'm almost 20 minutes behind. Let me answer that question now when I can see it. I can see it. Again, I tell you, I like to answer them. I like to answer the questions when I see them in sequence in this chat because I can put them on the screen. This is the chat straight from the YouTube feed. I can't click on it and put it on the screen. But I can see a hell of a lot more of it, and the cues stand out that way. So if I do answer one of your questions and you don't see it on the screen, that's why. That's why. And here's the question, Muyini. I'm not 100% carnivore. Do you forgive me? I eat like 95% meat, fish, eggs, etc., but I drink milk in my coffee, also drinking raw milk. Muyini, you're a carnivore. Call yourself a carnivore, wear the label proudly. Wear it proudly. Milk is still an animal product, and even if you drank coffee like I do and it comes from plants, you're still a carnivore. The scientific definition of what qualifies an animal to be considered a carnivorous animal is 70%. 70% of your diet from animal products, which is a lot of leeway. A lot of leeway. And people who are on like the Mediterranean diet, which is for so many people a healthy diet, because they don't eat tons of sugar, they don't eat tons of sweets, they eat carbs, but they're in the form of whole vegetables and fruits. And in their history, especially in Italy and those places, they have developed preparation techniques that get rid of the brunt of the toxins in those things. And those people are healthy and probably not carbohydrate addicts. The carnivore diet, in my estimation, is extreme. But I've learned it's the only way to kill a carb addiction. And until you kill that carb addiction, you're going to spend your life repeating what I did my whole life, and that was yo-yoing up and down, losing it, gaining it back, losing it, gaining it back, because you're still an addict. If you never became an addict, which is so easy to do in this country, and you're in a village in Italy where they eat tomatoes with everything, you'll know that your grandma would never eat a tomato that had the skin on it, or a potato that had the skin on it, because that's where most of the toxins are. The purpose of those toxins is to dissuade animals from eating those things. So where would they put most of the toxins? They would put it in the skin, the first thing the animal would bite. Simply removing the skin and then cooking it properly kind of detoxifies the food. But what do these stupid vegans do? They say that's no good for you. You need to eat raw vegetable, raw, eat it raw, eat it raw. And yes, maximize those toxins. Juice them, make smoothies out of them to get 5 times as much poison at one sitting. So you're a carnivore. You are a carnivore, Mulini. There's no reason for me to forgive you whatsoever. It sounds like you're doing just great, just great. James Ballou says, question, was that 70% by weight or calories? Anytime you hear anything over 50%, you can assume it's by weight. You can assume, especially when you're talking about fat. Well, my phone went off. It's either an email of somebody trying to sell me something or a coffee. And it's not a coffee. It's an email from a viewer. I'll read it later because it's this long on my cell phone. Don't make me put up my Buy Me a Coffee link again. Come on now. Okay, I'll put it up again for those of you who have forgotten it. And I do that in lieu of sponsors. I do that in lieu of running mid-roll ads on my videos and everything else. So the amount of time I spend putting my link up there is minimal compared to how much time you'd have to sit through these stupid advertisements like everybody else does. Or have a sponsor. This video is brought to you by, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Where was I in this chat? I need to keep looking for questions in here. I'm still looking. But we're getting down there. I don't think we're going to go till 10 o'clock today, but you'll all... That's a cigar question. Would you rather start your cigar with a match or a lighter? When I smoked, I preferred matches. No, I don't want to fool with matches. It's a pain in the ass. I always use a torch. I use a butane torch, adds no flavor. Sometimes a match will add a little flavor to the tobacco. The butane torch adds no flavor whatsoever. You don't risk dropping it on your lap and setting yourself on fire. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. My cigar smoking seems to be the topic of the day. Do you finish that beautiful cigar during the day? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Here's a question from Fran Mariah. Hi, Fran. What do you think about eggs in the coffee? I have never thought about that. I try to be honest. Never crossed my mind to put an egg in coffee. I would think if you put an egg in hot coffee, you'd end up with a poached egg. But I can't see, like Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that. I would probably never do it. But if you like an egg in your coffee, it can be nothing but good for you. Anytime you get an egg into your body, I think you're doing the right thing. So have at it. Have at it. George Burns smoked more than 1 cigar per day. He told Johnny Carson he smoked 8 cigars. Yes, he did. My grandfather smoked 4 or 5 cigars a day. I smoked 2 or 3. And it's who I am. I'm sorry. I just do it. I do it. And I'm not ashamed of it, for sure. I kind of hid the fact for the first couple months I was on YouTube. But then I said, you know what? If I can't be myself, the hell with them. I won't even do this. I'll just be healthy on my own and not help anybody. Cliff Medina, question, what think? Libs say humans only ate meat during climate change. Add to the list of dumb things that they say. That's such nonsense. Before the agricultural age, which was at most 20,000, probably 10 to 15,000 years ago, not only were there no libs, there was always climate change ever since the beginning of time. And all of the fossil record that we found dating back hundreds of thousands of years shows that humans are primarily carnivorous animals. Okay, DS-111. How do you handle panhandlers if one walks up to you in public? I immediately avoid them to avoid a scam or worse, and also to train up my daughter to be on guard out there. I ignore them. I don't run into panhandlers because I'm not out in public. The only time I ever run into these people is standing at a traffic light. Standing at a traffic light. And I don't ever make eye contact with them. That's all. I just sit there and look straight ahead. And they don't bother me. My windows are rolled up. I don't want anything to do with them. I used to want to help people. I used to. I would say 20 years ago, or more, maybe 25 years ago, I was in a 7-Eleven getting some coffee down the street from my office in Winter Park, Florida. I go into this 7-Eleven, and in comes this teenage girl. She had to be 16, 17 years old. She just walked in, and I was the only one in the store, and I was paying for my coffee, and she came up to me and she said, "Sir," I looked at her, she said, "I hate to ask, but I was wondering if you could help me." And she was a pretty clean-cut little girl. What do you need?" I said. She said, "My car ran out of gas right down the street. And I don't have any money. I need to put some gas in it so I can get home. All my money's at home. And I'll be glad to pay you back if you can tell me where I can leave this money. I'll pay you back. I just need to get some gas in my car." So I gave her $5. She turned to the guy behind the counter and bought a pack of cigarettes with the $5. Walked out of the store, got into some ratty old Camaro with some scraggly-looking guy, and they drove off, probably laughing their ass off at me. At that time, I said never again. And that's been my opinion for people begging. Sorry. When I was down and out myself, I didn't beg. Nobody was throwing money at me. So I call me a hard ass now. I just don't, just like you, will not make eye contact with them, will not even acknowledge their presence. Maybe some of them are really in need. Sorry. I also won't contribute to a GoFundMe. I don't care whose it is. Some of them are probably worthwhile. I did that once too and found out it was a scam. We learn every lesson the hard way, my friend, don't we? Scrolling down the chat. Here we go. Sissay, good morning, Mitch. Do you use a vibration machine plate for indirections? No, I don't own one of those. I don't see why I would need one. My muscles are fine. They work great. My lymphatic system works great. I don't have any lymphedema or lipedema. But for those people that need them, they are wonderful. They are wonderful. And a lot of people do. But no, for me, I have no use for it. Maybe it might do me some good, but I'm not going to buy one to try to find out. Grace Foley says she spotted 4 or 5 questions. Yes, I've seen them, I think. And the Aquatic Action Figure says, question, what should a carnivore do to prepare for serious rounds of antibiotics, starting treatment chronic Lyme disease soon? What can you do? What can you do? You can, preparing, I don't think there's anything you can prepare for. It's going to kill bacteria in your body, the good along with the bad, and just be prepared for after you've taken the course of the antibiotics and after you have tackled the Lyme disease issues that you're having. Sorry to hear that. Be prepared for it to take a month or so for your microbiome to repopulate. And it will repopulate. It'll repopulate based on what you're eating and what's available for it to eat, not only in your mouth, but in your gut as well. We have microbiomes all over our body. And that's the thing about antibiotics. There's just too many strains of bacteria for them to fine-tune them to not kill the good ones. So something you're just going to have to go through. And I resign myself to that. If something should ever happen to me and I get into the hospital and they say, you have to take antibiotics to cure this infection or you're going to die, I'll take the antibiotics and pick up the pieces afterwards. Hopefully it won't be too bad for you, and I hope it works out. Scott Elliott, I haven't said good morning to you from Colorado. How you doing? Lynn Gerber says, is it usual to be tired? Ag. No, Lynn, it's not usual. Not usual at all to be tired. If you're on carnivore, you should be the opposite of tired. There's way too many things that can cause you to be tired, a deficiency in this, that, or the other thing. Blood tests, common sense might tell you what it is. You might need a doctor to tell you why you're tired. You might just start searching in YouTube, why am I tired on carnivore, and see if you can't find some real authorities on the subject. For me, I can't help you, unfortunately, because I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know what medications you may be on. I don't know what your health situation is at all. And the only thing I do know is that there are just so many things that can make you just be tired. Because being tired means that something in your metabolism isn't working right. You're just not generating enough ATP in your cells, in your mitochondria, enough energy. So you're going to feel tired all the time. Could be anything. Wish I could help you, Lynn. I wish I could. If you find out anything that you think it might be, come back in and ask me, do you think it might be that? And maybe we can. But again, I'm not a doctor. And you know I work very, very hard not to try to play doctor here and give anything that even resembles medical advice. And it's raining here. It's raining. Excuse me 1 second. What have I got here? Okay. I just heard from Samsung. I sent my cell phone to them to be repaired. They have received it. Isn't that nice? Okay. And my computer that I sent to Dell to repair is supposed to be delivered back to me today. So things are progressing in this world, even if at a snail's pace. Jonathan's here. How you doing? He says, I'm struggling with that. He's obviously talking. I don't know what he's struggling with, Jonathan. Whatever you're struggling with, tell me about it tomorrow night when we talk. Because I talk to Jonathan every Wednesday night. Jonathan's become a good friend of mine, and he's in Alaska, and we have a video chat every Wednesday night. And I look forward to it, too. Jonathan's a YouTuber. His channel name is Bags Packed Family. He's a much bigger YouTuber than me. There's Len Gerber says, is it unusual to get tired after eating I don't understand what that last word is. ACAL. Okay, so you haven't really asked the first question. I didn't understand. Try it one more time, and let me know what you're eating that you get tired after eating it. That might narrow it down a little bit. And another question. God, Ellen, 9:30 is the magic question time. Triggers everybody. Mark C. Mark C says, if I drink coffee while watching your Tuesday night live stream, is that breaking my 18-hour fast? No. As long as you're drinking black coffee or maybe just a touch of cream, but nothing else in it, no. Coffee does not break a fast at all, anytime, day or night. It's like water. Has no nutritional value as far as many nutrients or no sugars whatsoever. And that's right, tonight is Tuesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. As soon as I'm finished with this stream, I will post the link to that. I will post it. Your mom says, question, how do we find a carnivore-friendly doctor? My doctor recommended eating potatoes. Yes, your doctor is a fool like most other doctors, has bought into this or has just accepted that this is the advice he has to give to stay out of trouble. Because if he starts recommending meat to people, and these people think that their doctor is incompetent because of that, they will report him, and he will be hauled before the medical board and have to fight for his license. And that's happened many, many times. So these people are between a rock and a hard place. And there's many doctors out there that know they're given the wrong information, but they're forced into it. I heard of a dietitian that used to have a pamphlet printed up with all the good information in it, and she would tell her patient the bad information, or her client, and then she would say, that's what I have to tell you to keep my job. And then she'd hand him this pamphlet like under the table and say, read this when you get home. Isn't it a shame that that's how we have to, that we are so controlled this day by the politics of it all, that we have to spew bullshit or we lose our job? Ketovore Candy is here. Hey, how you doing? Ketovore Candy came in to visit with us. Came in and visited with us on Saturday afternoon. It was great to see you. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. And oh, this is cool. I like this one. The antique action figure. My nephew just sent me a big box of meat for Christmas. I just added him to my will. That's great. That's great. Lynn Gerber. We're back to that's normal to feel tired after a meal of meat. Lions typically take a long nap. Yeah, if you feel a little tired after you've just finished stuffing your face, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not just tired all day and you have energy. Me, I don't know what's wrong with me. I never get tired after a meal. I never get sleepy after a meal. I don't nap. Even if I got very little sleep the night before, I just never feel like I need a nap. I think that's a good thing. DS111 commented that Megyn Kelly has the physique of Kelly Hogan. Yes, she does. She's very, very slender girl. Very slender girl. I wasn't familiar with Ketovore Candy. Yes, a lot of people subscribe to her channel, I think, from our live stream. And I'm looking for more questions. I am up to, oh my God, I'm still so far behind. Guys, it's 20 minutes till. Holy cow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go way down to the bottom of the chat. I'm going to go backwards a little ways and see if I can't pick out any questions that you've asked recently. Don't ask any more from here on out. I'm just going to scan real quick, looking for some cues in here. Wow, I don't see any. I do see a super chat from your mom. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can't run down and show you that in the chat here. Here's a silly question. My burning question. What's the best manner of eating? On the floor, like some Japanese in a Gothic straight back chair, or like me in the reclining position, like the ancient Greeks. Whatever floats your boat, my friend. I consume most of my meals, not a recliner, but in a regular chair in the living room or in the family room watching TV. I can't remember I think the only time I actually eat up there at the counter in the kitchen. I never eat my dining room table, but is when I make a video showing me eating a steak. Other than that, I'm always just watching TV. So many YouTube videos, so little time. You know what I mean? Question. Are natural flavors okay? I've been drinking water with flavor. No, they're not. They're not. Natural flavors is a catch-all term for loaded with garbage. And we're not going to tell you what it is. Natural flavors, avoid them. Avoid them. Drink water without flavoring. It'll help cure your addiction. I tried that. I bought some of that stuff a while ago. I bought a whole case of it at Costco, and natural flavor stuff was so sweet I could hardly drink it. I threw it all away. Claudia says, I was browsing your videos and came across the meatloaf recipe. Kids absolutely loved it. My daughters, yes. Yeah, that's a great little recipe. It's so easy to make. And I've made it a couple times now, mixing half ground pork and half ground beef with the pork rind crumbs and the egg, and put bacon on top of it. Because anything is better with bacon on top. We know that. Here it is, your mom. Thank you so much. I'm here because you don't sell the latest carnivore fad. Can't fade influencers. Thank you. I try not to. Try not to be too commercial. I lobby for myself. With this buy me a coffee thing, I ask people if they want to buy something from Amazon that I use to excuse me a second, I have an email that I have to take a glance at. Okay. Captain America Steve Rogers bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, my friend. Very generous of you. Always. And thanks your mom for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Stay away from natural flavors. Boyd Lamb says to Google them. You'll find a horror show. Exactly. Exactly. It is a loophole, a labeling loophole. God knows what chemicals are in that stuff. But the worst thing about it is it makes it sweeter. And that by itself is a reason not to drink it. So I think I'm getting down to the bottom of the chat here. And I think I got most of the questions. If I missed any, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ask it again tomorrow, and we'll try. Or tonight. Come on to the live stream tonight. I'm thinking about opening it up to a panel tonight, because at night we seem to have a great time. And it'll be open to everybody, not just the private community. So come and see me tonight, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. And only 15 minutes overtime today. It's been fun. It's been fun. Got 150 people still here. How we doing over there in 13 people over in Rumble? Anything happened in the chat over there? Anybody new pop in? See Boyd Lamb popped in over there. Anyway, it's been great to see you all this morning. Great to see you. I hope you have I hope you all have a great day. Hope you have a great day. And I'm going to give you a few minutes. Got two different songs playing at the same time. I can do that too. There we go. A little happy music to end on. I'm going to relight my cigar, give you a few minutes. Stay live while you say goodbye to each other in the chat. Thanks for coming, guys. Look at all of you saying goodbye. Cool. Another great morning chat. Bye all, says Lat. Tired Rick. Hope to see you tonight. And with that, my friends, until 8 o'clock p.m., take the rest of the day off. I can still say this with a straight face. And eat meat.